Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ghost Tea Podcast. I'm your host, Ariel Willow, a clairvoyant since childhood, paranormal investigator, and an occult practitioner. Today, we're going to do story time. So I really wanted to record today because obviously I just go long times without recording. I don't have a set schedule and I always forget how long it's been since I posted an episode. So I'm so sorry. But I am recording a podcast episode today and I wasn't sure what to talk about. So I texted Corey, as you do, because he's literally the spark igniter in my brain. And I said, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to do an episode on. And he was like, do one on multi-dimensional beings. And I was like, okay, not going to happen in one episode. I need more time to go over that. And the truth is that is such a big topic that I really have to go over it in multiple episodes. So be expecting like little tiny episodes to kind of piece that whole thing together. But I figured a good way to start and just kind of give you a little piece of information about multidimensional beings is sharing a story about an experience that I had accidentally slipping into a parallel timeline. Before we get started, you know the drill. I want to remind you that everyone has different views on things, and that's okay. I don't expect you to believe what I do. I just want to share what I've found in my personal path with others. Okay, so to set the scene, it's around, I think it was like the end of November 2019. I remember I was living with my first roommate, and it was before things like really went south with that. I was working at Amazon at the time, and we were right in the middle of peak season, which is the busiest season for Amazon outside of Prime Week. And it's a couple months where they really focus on just getting holiday orders out the door for people to have stuff in time for Christmas. So usually you work around like 4-hour shifts when you work at the warehouse job that I was at the sortation center. But around this time, I was working about like 5-hour shifts. And at this time, I was working 2 shifts back to back. So it was about 10 hours-ish, like 9 to 10 hours each night. And I usually worked the evening shift. So I was working between like 6:30, I think, till like usually it was like 12 or 1 in the morning. Anyhow, my normal routine was to get home from work and eat something and just kind of like allow my body to kind of settle down and my mind to settle down so that I could go to bed. And so I got myself dinner, got into bed, was just kind of hanging out. And then I got tired enough to where I felt like I could maybe get myself to go to sleep. So I was sitting in bed, turned out the light, and went to slip into unconsciousness. And as I did this, I was in my bedroom in my roommate's house, okay? We were in an apartment. I was in my bedroom, completely alone. They were in their room. I was in my room. And I was sitting in my bed, turned off the light, turned over to like scoop myself down in the bed and like get situated. And as I did that, when I turned over, I was in a different bed, in a different room. I had a dog on my legs, like laying on top of my legs. And there was a dude laying in the bed next to me, like shirtless. And I was like, what's going on? I was like, what the hell is happening? I literally just stopped because I didn't know what was going on. The house looked very, like the room looked very different. It was obviously in a house or a very, very big apartment. There was a window in the fairly around the same area that the window was in my bedroom at the apartment of my roommates. And I was sitting up in this bed and this guy quickly turns over and turns on the light next to the bed on his nightstand. I was looking at him, not knowing what to do. He was looking at me in shock. And we just sat there for a second because I literally could smell this dude's breath. I could feel the weight of the dog on my legs. I could like smell the ambiance of the room. I could feel the sheets. Like it was so weird. Nothing was like the bedroom that I was in at my roommate's house. And I was very disoriented and I just sat there just staring at this guy and I was like, racking my brain of like, is this someone I know? Like, what's going on? He was not anybody I recognized in my lifetime this time. And I was like, okay, think, like, what's happening? And he was like, Ariel? And I was like, yeah, that's me. And he was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how it got here. Like, I literally was getting ready to go to bed. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I was getting ready to go to bed because I just got home from work. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I just got home from Amazon, and I was getting ready for bed, and I was just gonna go to sleep. And he was like, Ariel, what are you talking about? And he was like, how are you here? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, you're dead. And I was like, excuse me? And I just had this moment where I was like, there's no way. Like, what is going on? And I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. And he was like, I don't know what's happening either. And I was like, when did I die? And he told me that I had died of cancer around a year before that. And so it didn't make sense that I was there. And I was like, obviously, yeah, it doesn't make sense that I'm here. And he was like, you look different. And I was like, how? And he was like, I don't know. You look different. And I was like, what did I look like before? And he was just, I think his brain was just having trouble comprehending what was happening. My brain was having trouble comprehending what was happening. And I looked down at the dog, and I remember thinking, the dog isn't reacting negatively to me. Like, it just is looking, excited to see me, or just like not really confused. And whereas like if I was not someone who was recognized, the dog probably would have acted really defensively. And literally as quickly as it happened, I just snapped out of it. Like, I was back in my room, we're in my roommate's house, and I was just sitting in my bed, just staring at the other side of my bed. Just nobody there. The room was just the way that I had left it before I had accidentally, popped over into a parallel reality, I guess. And I was really confused, and I was convinced. I was like, okay, obviously this has to be some sort of like brain thing where my brain is just really tired from work today, and I am just absolutely accidentally hallucinating, and I just need to get some sleep. So I'm gonna go to sleep. So I went to bed, I put myself to sleep, and I woke up the next morning, and I told my roommate what had happened, because she was, a spiritual person too, and she kind of was able to ask me questions and understand what I was talking about. And she said, well, what if you were to ask your guides to help you to go back into that reality and maybe ask him some questions? And I was like, yeah, let's try that. So I decided that was, a best idea. So I went into meditation, and I asked my guides to bring me back to that reality so that I could ask this dude some questions. I know that he told me his name. I don't remember what his name was. Like I said, he didn't look like anybody who I knew in this lifetime that I have met so far. And he was just taking me around the house and showing me these wedding photos of the wedding that he and that Ariel had. And it was so weird because I was looking at the pictures, and I knew that it was me, but like it also didn't look like me. Like my hair kind of looked different, and I looked like me, but not. It's kind of like when you look at an old photo of yourself and you look the same, but you can tell that it's just a different version of you. Like, it's just a different, that person hasn't gone through all of the experiences that you've gone through when you look at yourself in the mirror yet. So it's just really, really weird. And I kept just looking at these photos and just being so confused. And I just kind of sat down with him maybe for like, I don't know, not very long. I maybe spent a half an hour just kind of sitting with this dude and talking about things. And it was actually really sad because I could tell that he was just really heartbroken. about losing this person, and there was nothing I could do. Like, I couldn't stay in that reality. I didn't know who he was. I didn't have any history with him as me. And like, it's just such a weird experience. Like, after that, obviously, I came back to this reality, but I still don't really know what to make of that. I sometimes wonder, like, I kind of wish that I could get the memories of that Ariel from that lifetime just to know what that was like. And honestly, the only explanation that I have for it is that it was some sort of parallel lifetime that I accidentally crossed over into, and somehow had this experience with that Ariel's husband or previous husband, I guess. And yeah, so I guess that's possible. But I'm curious to hear if any of you guys have had experiences like that. Like, maybe other people. I'm sure other people have had these kind of experiences. I know that people talk about, like, breaks in the matrix or glitches in the matrix and stuff. But I guess this is my glitch or break in the matrix story. But yeah, I just wanted to share it and kind of get your thoughts and or just give you a really good story to hear. But yeah, that's my story of accidentally breaking through the matrix. So I hope you guys are having a good day or a good night or a good anytime, whatever time it is for you. And hopefully I won't break through the matrix anytime super soon. All right. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.